wind is blowing through her hair. We like to head out on the road, and you know we don't really care, cause we're just doing what we want. She likes it when I treat her good, she likes it when I treat her bad.
Well, hello Supermoto bros and girls. MOTARDYODA back in the seat of his brand spanking new SMR530. I know there probably wasn't an officially produced model, the SMR530. So, have I lost my mind? What's up with that? Well, here's the deal. I have obtained the ultimate, my goal, my dream, taking a 2010 and making her new again. The SMR510 in 2010 was probably the best production of this bike, and I have never seen one for sale. I have never seen one ever anywhere. I have owned 2008 models, the first fuel injected 510s that came out, and no doubt they were very entertaining bikes. They had some nuances, they had some issues, and I expect this one will have its share of issues as time goes on, but right now she's perfect. So what's the story? Well, if you saw my first video, the top 5 reasons why I love my SMR510, then you know a little bit about me. I am a Supermoto freak. I have had multiple Supermotos over the years. I have settled on bikes that are in the 500 to 600 cc class range. Keeping it real simple, anything under 300 pounds I like. Once you start pushing 320, like your DRZ, your 701, your 690, just to name a few, it's kind of out of my zone. I just don't like those bigger bikes. This particular bike is about 272 pounds with a full tank of gas. My other Sumos are lighter, including a KTM 500 EXCF, all sumoed out, and of course my FS 570, the Berg. Both of them are about 10 to 20 pounds lighter than this one. But this video is not about them. It is about this girl right here. Because as you know, in my previous video, I had talked about rebuilding the motor which is on this bike. It is a big board, completely rebuilt motor at this point. She's got too many things to list. Obviously the big bore, brand new transmission, brand new oil pump. What else? I got an STM slipper clutch in her. I have a bunch of other parts. Oh, the racing water pump. I mean, again, tons of mods. But the real key for me has always been the inability to get that 2010 frame. I could not find it anywhere. I needed a 2010. Last summer one came on the marketplace, and it was close to where I lived, a couple of hours away. It was a parted out bike, had a blown motor, and the owner thought he was going to fix it when he bought it. He never titled it, never fixed it, and that bike sat there collecting dust for many, many years. I got lucky, and with that frame, with those parts, I decided to build from scratch. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, it took a lot of help. I have to give love to a lot of different vendors and suppliers. I can't name them all in this video right now, but I will put their tags down in the description. I'm thinking of, for example, Robin at SMX Racing over in Europe. I'm thinking of Cycle Works on Instagram. That's my buddy Andrew the Young. I'm talking about DaDasCreations. She does a lot of decals for me. Who else is involved? Of course, I can't forget Miller's powder coating. Oh my god, they did an impeccable job on this thing. I mean, this bike is so spotless. The frame, the subframe, the swing arm, the water pump, the linkage, the main spring. I mean, I got so many things powder coated. You look down there, you can see the triples, the handlebar, bracket. I went to town, not gonna kid you. Brought them a pile of stuff and they did a dynamite job. Can't forget my little buddy out there in Germany. Trying to remember his name. He's listed a bunch of iBeats for sale and various software. I got my iBeat from him, and I knew that that was going to be critical in setting this bike up, and it turned out I was right. So you're going to get to see her. I'm on my way right now to a spot where I'll do a walk around, but the short story here is real simple. I basically had the 2008s. I had the rebuilt motor that I did last winter. When I put her back on the 2008, I was very unhappy. I could not tune her up. I logged 500-600 miles on it and just let her sit. Rode my other bikes all summer and fall. And in the winter, we stripped down the 2010 and went to town, starting from nothing but a naked frame. So the frame and all those parts went to Miller's, where they all got powder coated. She got fresh bearings, seals, you name it. If it was needed, new ones went on. Eventually the motor, the skins, forks, all rebuilt. Some Marzucci shivers there. And of course you can't miss those red Carrozzeria wheels. Oh my god, I love them. They are sick. You know, they were the first to reduce the amount of spindles out there on the solids and offer the same amount of strength. They were also the only set ever made for Supermoto. Moto owns them now, and they don't make Supermoto wheels, so you can't get Moto Supermoto wheels. You got to come up with some kind of ingenious change if you want to get them on there. Speaking of Moto, you see some red cables. Well, the clutch line, she is from Moto. This throttle cable here, that's from AS3 Performance over in the UK. Obviously, this is AS3 Performance there. I got the zippy oil cover. I got an AS3 shifter and rear brake lever. But the real money on this setup, you can see the blue right there on the header. It is my dual Leo Vinch titanium full system. I mean, it is nothing like this on the streets. I have never seen them sold. I have never seen them anywhere here in the States. Like I said, I haven't seen a 2009 or 2010 SMR, so I don't even know if they exist, other than some guys in my Facebook groups who say they have them, and they're all running the OEM pipes, or they've converted to singles. The dual setups that I've seen are all Arrow, And this is not a knock on Arrow, but I have heard a set of a single Arrow, and it was way too loud. I'm talking about the titanium racing one. I'm just not that guy. I prefer performance over sound. So these Leos, that header right there is wider than OEM. The blow through is incredibly different on this bike compared to running a stock OEM single Arrow, or I suggest even their OEM headers. Like I said, you get to see her in a moment or two. I just got to get to the spot where I can have some privacy, do my walk around. Is she completely done? I would say 99.9% done. I just ordered a brand new Speedo. I believe his name is Leonardo, another Italian, and it is in the mail. Now, why am I getting a new Speedo? Well, this bike is just so pretty. I can't deal with the little crack that I've got on the glass, and then the button, just like all the other buttons, they disintegrate from UV over time. I got a big hole there, and since she's a new rebuild, I have no problem putting a new Speedo on her. I mean, this is essentially a brand new motor, barely broken in. I mean, it is amazing. How fast this thing can go. It is absolutely insane. Not to mention everything else that I cover in my first video, but this one tops them all. And the reason why is that ECU. I knew the ECU was going to be important. I also wanted the 2010 for the frame and the slight difference of mount points. With my 2008, I tried fitting these pipes on her, and it was a hack job. I mean, sure, it looked good. It was a Leo Vinch dual titanium setup. How can it look bad, right? But it wasn't proper. I could never get this mount point here on the frame. I could never get this side because, well, there was no bracket mounted on the subframe, so I had no option there. I had to fab my own. It was all cockeyed. You can kind of notice it if you pay attention to the videos. In fact, I had some guys mention it, like, why do your pipes look a little like they're drunk? I always blamed it on camera angle, but I knew it wasn't right. Now she is perfect. They are tight. They look gorgeous. And this bike, it is just so smooth. It starts instantly. It requires no hot start. Now, I will say, when the motor was first put on, like I told you last 5-6 months ago when I was riding her, I knew something was off. So when I put the motor on this one and started her up and took her out, I knew something was off. I knew the TPS was off. I knew there was some backfiring, so she was a little on the lean side. And I knew that with the iBeat, I was going to have the functionality of editing some of those settings more than I could do on the 2008. The 2008 ECU is limited. Not this one. This one lets you do a lot more, pretty much anything. Gives you error codes accurately, assuming you have the sensors there. What I was mostly concerned about was the fuel mixture and the TPS. So I got on it, and the first thing I did was get that TPS set. Once the TPS was set, everything changed. The bike started instantly. She idles perfectly. The idle screw actually works. It's the first time I've had an idle screw that does what it's supposed to do. In case you don't know it, on these fuel injected bikes, it's the reverse, meaning if you want to lower the idle, you have to screw her out a little bit. If you want to hasten the idle, you screw that screw in. On my previous 2008s, I could never get them to respond properly. It drove me crazy. But with this one, after the TPS was edited, OMG, baby. I could get that idle to go 3K if I wanted to. I can turn it down to about 1100 before she stalls. It seems like she's very happy around 1800 to 2000, so that's where I keep her. I'll probably change as the temperatures here change in the ATL. It's still early spring, we're in the middle of March. It is a gorgeous day at about 68 degrees. And really, the first day I've had a chance to take her out in all her glory, not have to wear a ton of thermals to keep warm. So, what did the iBeat do for me after I got her TPS set? Well, I went to work on the other settings, and I really feel like I need to get her to a dyno to be 100% sure. Bottom line is, she's killing it. I had to increase pretty much all the levels, get a little more fuel, mostly on the idle side, because that's where I was getting the cough ups and the lower range of the RPMs, not so much on the top side. And right now I've got it to where I can come off this and just barely get a little crackle, which is fine and to be expected if you're going fast. The spark plug looks perfect. I put a new fuel pump in her. Let me tell you, night and day, brothers and sisters, of course. If you're running the OEM or the Quantum pump, do yourself a favor, get out your wrenches, yank that tank off and put a CA cycle in there. Krista is the owner of CA Cycles. She knows her stuff, I'm gonna say, better than anyone knows any of their parts that I've met. And I've met some intelligent motorcycle people over the years, but Krista, she is the bomb. She's like a walking computer, so analytical, so scientific, and she has helped me in so many different situations already. And here's the results of putting the CA cycle pump in here. It's very simple. With the 208s, I would set my tripo right there. You're looking at it, 13.4 right there. I would set that to 0 when I filled up, and I would get to 50 miles and I'd start looking for fuel. When I got to 60, I was in danger zone, because that's when she started stuttering. The furthest I ever went on a tank full of gas with that bike was 64 miles. That was it. And when I filled that bike with gas, it only took 1.5 gallons. So there was still 0.4 gallons in that tank. I did the cable tie edit, but it was an older pump and probably had a clogged filter in there. But from a performance state of mind, it was working. In other words, I was doing what I wanted to do. I just couldn't get all the gas out. So when we rebuilt, I said, let's put one of those CA cycles in this girl. And OMG, has that been huge! It's just been night and day with the efficiency of how it pumps. I mean, first of all, those pumps put out pressure like nothing else. I'm guessing 7-8 bar, so the regulator is important. Krista told me that they run half a dozen fuel injectors on their workbench off of one little pump. She said it's enough to power 300 horses. So that little pump, plenty of pump for this bike. For me, it was just really a matter of, hey, I'm doing the work, we got to start with all new stuff. So that's why I did it. And I'm so happy I did, because now I get way more mileage out of a tank. So here's the difference. The other day, I get up to 50 miles, I start to worry, nothing. I get up to 60 miles, still no early fuel indicator. I'm thinking, okay, obviously there's a problem with my low fuel indicator, it's not working. Well, then I get to 70 miles, it's still going. I look in the tank, there's still gas in there, sloshing it around. And that's when I decided I would go to a gas station. Well, right at that point, the low fuel indicator came on. I went to the gas station and she took a good 1.8 gallons. Now this is a 1.9 gallon tank. So as far as I'm concerned, somebody's lying. I mean, it was more than 1.8. I actually videotaped how much fuel she took. I can't believe for 2 seconds that that was accurate. It is unbelievable. Almost 1.9. That is freaking incredible. I mean, she went right to the end and was still running. Oh my God. This is unbelievable. Look at that. 1.86 gallons. And I can get up to 1.9. I guarantee it. I'm not going to. But she took it and I think my lot is gone. Or is this it over here? Oh, here it is. Man, what the heck is going on here, bro? Holy crap, did they clean this frickin' thing up? Well, so much for my deserted building photo shoot. Bogus. This place was so rad. And now somebody's gone and cleaned it up. And trust me, this is clean. I mean, this thing was nasty. You can still see a little bit of the nastiness over here. That's pretty funny. For all I know, there's somebody living in there. Last thing I need to do is get hijacked, so we're going to stay clear of that. I mean, would I steal this bike from someone? Yeah. Come on. Let me take that back. I'd steal it from someone for the right price. How's that for digging yourself out of a hole? Alright, why can we do a walk around here? That building kind of looks cool, but that back door is still scaring me a little bit. So, we're not in the best part of town. I gotta stay where it's kind of out of the way a little bit. See that boat? Man, someone could be living in that boat. This doesn't look horrible. So, going back to the gas station story, I get to the fuel pump and I start filling up, and all of a sudden I got 1.8. So somebody's lying. There's just no way that this thing is taking that much fuel in my mind. I don't know if it's the gas station. I know right now gas prices are at a screaming high level. Is it possible that they're raping us even more and jacking up the pump to not really show what's coming out? I don't know. All I know is a ton of gas went in, and I was so happy because I got over 70 miles. And the second time I did the same thing. The low fuel light did not come on until 71 miles. Now, how far can I go? I don't know. I mean, according to that fill up, I had used almost 1.9 gallons. So, how much more gas could have been in there? That is a great question. Well, here she is in all her glory, including powder-coated kickstand. I mean, this girl is sick. Not sure where we'll go, but maybe turn her sideways. Probably should have brought some kind of, I don't know what we'll do here. We'll get her propped up a little proper, a little straighter. We should do. Really? Okay. It's one of those days. I mean, I just absolutely love this girl. She is so sexy. Can't stand it. Yeah, that's nicer. Definitely nicer. There she is. A 510 like you've never seen. I mean, look at the black. Look at the powder coating on her. We got the triples. We got the handlebar mount. We've got the new plastics, including fins from Halls. You know, I can't leave Halls out of this. Halls is a vital supplier for me. I've got the powder coated frame, powder coated subframe. I got a bunch of crap from this lot that just trashed my swing arm, but it's alright. Swing arm is gorgeous. Love how it's come out. Obviously the red bling pegs, but these babies, oh my god, too good to be true. And these wheels, holy crap. I mean, look at the red wheels on her. Are you kidding me? Absolutely insane. And there they are, the dual pipes. Look at that. I just can't stand it. That is perfection, dudes. Doesn't get any better. I've got the SM Racing sliders. I've got red chain on there. I've got a Vortex red sprocket that's going to go on here pretty soon. This is a 42, so I'm running a 1542, which is doing the job. I mean, she's got so much power. I'm probably going to stay this OEM setup. For me, the 510 with a 42 is just not torquey enough. But when you big bore, she's fine. Look at the header on that thing. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to turn her around and put her on the sunny side. You can see these wheels, drop dead gorgeous, one of a kind. The new plastics. I wired her with LEDs up here and this little cheap integrated turn signal brake light tail light. Here's a good tip. I didn't know this. I discovered it. I'm not sure if we can see it in here. This is a brand new seat that came with the parted out bike, they come off so much easier when you get to this year. Can't really see it. Oh yeah, here it is. Right here. This little piece with the white connector right there, that's the relay. Typically the relay is up there where the fuses mount over here, but we put it over here. And that relay, that is from 12 O'Clock Labs, and I can send you the part number if you want it. It's 30 bucks. I stole it from the Husqvarna because I looked at the plug and I realized this thing might actually work on the 510. So I took it out and it works. I am so happy about that. I got another one I just ordered, which is now arrived. Doesn't matter, Husqvarna ain't working. It's a whole other story I don't want to get into. Let's focus on this girl. I've got this nice carbon heat shield on the header, and I want to turn this thing around so that you can see the other side, because those pipes are just drop dead gorgeous, dudes. I can't stand it. So pretty. Look at that blue. Oh my god, are you kidding me? I love the texture on that water pump. Can't stand it. I had him do the skid plate as well. See that down there? So yeah, so the 530 stickers, that was done by Sid Salyer up there in Tennessee. I had him do several. Came out great. Like I said, DaDasCreation. She does a lot of the stuff for me too. All the Husqvarna stuff that you see. The MOTARDYODA stickers. Got the SM Project sliders. I think I already mentioned that. I mean, this bike is pretty much brand new. Just too pretty. Can't stand it. I just can't stop looking at her. It is absolutely insane. Can't wait to take her to the Twisty. It's going to be this weekend. That's the game plan. She is ready. I have tested her. I can't find one thing she's not doing right. She brakes perfectly. All the fluid changes are spot on, meaning they're doing their job. I had some issues with the brakes, but since the fluids were changed, everything tightened up. So I guess that fluid was definitely on its way out after barely a season. It surprises me how fast some of these things can wear out, like fluids. I understand the brake pads, but the fluids, that has caught me by surprise. All these synthetics, you would expect them, at least I was, to last longer, but they're not. I'm barely getting any more life out of the fluids than I am out of the brake pads, and I go through brake pads every 1,000 or 2,000 miles, it seems. I don't know if it's, I know with the wheelies that causes a lot of wear on the rear brake, but the front brake seems to be the twisties are eating them up. I might have a couple of other bikes in the stable, but this beast right here, she's definitely the fastest of the lot. I'm going to do a side-by-side video of the three 500cc class bikes I've got. This one obviously being the 530. I've got the KTM, a 2019 EXCF 500 that is not big board. It is very contemporary, and it is, for me, probably the most desirable production bike for Supermoto builds coming off of the floor at a dealer. It's not as fast as this. It's running the same sprocket set, and it is fully modded. I got the Get ECU in her. I've got Warp 9s. I'll do a video on her. It is, no doubt, the backup bike that will always work because she's so new. This one here, being that it's essentially brand new, I don't anticipate problems. I don't have anything to fix. Everything is working. Even the Speedo, with that little crack, see it right there, and the tape, it's still working. So I got no complaints or no issues, but I am skeptically optimistic. My history with these bikes is long, and the amount of time that I've spent wrenching, too many hours. So let's see how this one holds up. Anybody who loves this bike, I hope you appreciate my build. It took a couple of years in the making, and all I can tell you is that it was so worth it. I am ecstatic with how it's come out. I will keep this as long as possible. I don't ever see myself growing tired of it. and there's no other upgrade. As you'll see in my side-by-side video, the 3 bikes that for me are the best of the best includes the KTM 500 EXCF, which is essentially the FE501 Husky. Side by side, they're almost identical. Got a little difference between the suspension with the linkage versus the PDS, but for me, one or the other. I just had an opportunity to get that KTM and I took it. The FS570, no doubt, right there with these other two, and a very close second to this one. The difference, in short, is that this is more of a racing bike. This one here is going to be more in lines with your Aprilia, the SXV, and really for flat tracking, that's where she belongs. She wheelies, and she's got a lot of torque, very much like a 2-stroke, but the Husqvarna is smooth as silk, and mine is built out, as you'll find out when I do her video. So when we compare the 3, how they all going to stack up, what's the pros and cons of each one, I'll cover it all in my next video. But for now, I'm just going to go enjoy this girl and get some more riding time this afternoon. It is Monday, a mundane Monday, and I needed a break. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you're at least feeling a little love for this bike, because I can tell you a lot went into it, and I will keep you posted on her progress and her ventures this year, 2022, as we get into the real riding season. So be safe out there, and I'll see you on one wheel.
The way you throw back like a Kodak, girl, you own that. Cruise around without a plan, girl, we'll never go back, girl, you know that. You were so bad, let's just spend a couple